It's a beautiful Monday afternoon, and it's time once again for Sports Orbit. My name is Afa Acho. Salifu Usman is also in the studio on today's edition of the program. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Yeah, thank you, Alpha.
All right, we'll begin straight from the NFF. Of course, the NFF has earmarked the sum of 14.4 billion naira for its 2024 budget. Of course, the figure was approved by its Congress at the 79th Annual General Assembly in Uyo yesterday. Though the details of the budget breakdown was not made public, the bulk of the sum is expected to cover financial considerations for the 2026 World Cup qualifying matches and next year's AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. The Congress approved the NFF 2024 budget proposal of the sum of 14,494 naira only at a communique it issued at the end of the meeting. The Federation also adopted the change of the Nigerian Professional Football League's name to the Nigerian Premier League Football, and a whole lot of things, but basically 14.4 billion naira, like that, clearly in the communique, like we saw in that report. When you do a budget, we are supposed to know that this amount will go to this place, this amount is going for this, but here you just come out with a vague sum, not actually saying how much is going to what.
Yeah. These are some of the secrecies in football. We are talking of NFF annual.
Yes.
Annual budget.
Not the sports ministry, NFF.
NFF 14.4 billion. Just like you say. Yes, to me, the amount, if you look at the amount, it may sound very bogus. It's a huge lot of money, 14 billion. And if you look at the current Naira value, you also do that. It's important money.
Sure.
You look at it, you look at the current value of Naira. But just like you say it correctly, what one would have expected, and to eliminate any form of suspicions or any form of argument totally, is to have here, this what we are this go to this goes to this, to you split it, let people know how much you are going to use for your current expenditures, how much is going for capital, how much is going for this, and okay, how much is how much we are going to use to pay salary, this how much we are going to use to pay players, this how much we are going to use to do this, so that people now know. Even by the time, to me, if they have come out with this detail, exactly, Nigeria would have able to sympathize, or you understand that this money, if they get exactly, it will not be go exactly, or it will not be able enough. But God, for this time, if you look at it, okay, they didn't say it still, because if you look at that report, we are just speculating that on assumption that this money may go here, may go here, may go here. Not in the NFF statement that we are going to use this money here, are going to use this money. But Nigerians and the reporters, look at the reporter, just look at okay, we are going to start a World Cup qualifier next year. We are going for Africa Cup of Nations next year, and that means definitely this money, the bulk of this money will be using for this area.
Exactly.
That is just imagination of the reporter, not what NFF see. But if NFF have come out, we have almost about this national team, Super Eagles, this amount are going to spend on Super Eagles on their World Cup qualifier, going for a Cup of Nations, this amount is going to them. Falcon are also going to start qualify for World African Championship. The Flamingos and this. All if you itemize it in detail, let the people have this detail. It will remove any form of this. But just like I said, they are not sound very big, but in the if you look at the American currency and in terms of Naira value, obviously it will amount to nothing.
Of course, also in that communique, also the change of name for the top division from the Nigerian Professional Football League to the Nigerian Premier League. I mean, was that necessary? It used to be called the Premier League. All of a sudden, maybe 2-3 seasons ago, that name now went to the Nigerian Professional Football League, but now taking the name back to NPFL. Of course, Premier League once again.
Alpha, it's just like me calling you Alpha and I call you Asho. I'm still referring to the same person.
Exactly.
But it's good that they clarify, because if you look at it, sometimes it opens media report on online or on page of newspaper. Some people call it Nigeria Premier Football League.
Yeah.
Some people call it Nigeria Professional Football League. So you don't even know where to stand. You have to play everybody. Some will say Professional Football League. Some will say Premier Football League.
Yeah.
So it is good that they are finally confirming it's
This
going
is
to
what
be
want to
known
be called.
Nigeria Premier Football League. And just like I say, Nigerian League has transformed from one name to another name severally. It used to be called, not even the Premier League, it used to be called Nigeria Football League,
Yeah.
NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Then NFL. So from there, now it's going to Nigeria Premier League.
Mm.
Then it now moved from Nigeria Professional Football League.
Yeah.
Now Nigeria
Premier
Premier League. It used to be in the Grove League. So, it's just like it's also some of this inadequacy we always see with our football administration. But to me, obviously, you don't need to be changing name here and there. You can only change name when you have a different sponsors, a title sponsor.
Very well.
For instance, if you actually used to be called Grove Premier League,
Yeah.
if it's changed to Alpha Premier Football, Alpha now by the sponsor, status sponsor, now become Alpha Premier League.
Yeah.
And if Alpha is done with the league and is not to renew the contract, you go to another person based on the money or based on the monetary value that comes, you now give another person the title name, not the name just taking itself without adding value to the name.
I think maybe it was to avoid such confusion that even the EPL used to be at a point it was the Barclays Premier League, but now irrespective of who the title sponsor, it's
Yes.
simply the English Premier League. Exactly. Just like you have the La Liga, because by the time you keep going through different name changes,
Yes.
it rubs up negatively on your brand. So
Yeah, you are well correct.
All right, and to some Super Eagles news, of course, for a lot of Nigerians should be smiling, but no surprise, it was to a lot of us. That match ended 6-0. Final AFCON qualifier, Nigeria versus Sao Tome and Principe. Of course, going into that match when they landed on, was it Friday, the Principe coach was sounding confident. In his words, he said he is not going to allow Nigeria embarrass them once again. But of course, you know that those were all talks, because for a team who came to your own country and defeated you 10-0, coming back home, you should have known that irrespective of whatever it is, it wasn't going to be anything less than 4-0, for instance. So, but kudos to the Super Eagles, especially for the likes of Victor Osimhen, who bagged a hat trick in that one.
Yeah, it had to be that. And in the first match, he scored 4 goals. In the first, he scored 7 goals.
7 goals.
But to me, that fantastic victory for Nigeria,
Yeah.
and also commend Sao Tome. That is an improvement on their part. A team that conceded 10 goals away in their own home, in their own ground, or in their adopted home, and you come to Nigeria, you come to their own home, and they could not meet you, they could not outscore you more than the 10 goals they scored you before. Rather, you were able to manage it to minimum 6 goals. So, like the coach of sounded confidence, to me, he has done some work that limit the number of goals to just 6.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations to Nigeria with that. I mean, topping the group.
Topping the group with
15 points.
50 points. They only lost one match to Guinea-Bissau, surprisingly at home here. So even it could have been or 18 points, but 15 points, and then being followed by Guinea-Bissau also. So congratulations to Super Eagles, and that's how.
So can one now say that Pesero has done well?
Well, either has done well or has not well, but what is matter, he has made the target.
Yeah, very well. I mean, completely.
Which is the result of
Yes, he thought, yes, qualifying Nigeria for the AFCON.
The Honorable Minister of Sport, John Howard Enon, has urged the team not to rest on their hours, that yes, it's good that they are qualified, but the ultimate target now is good game. Go to Cote d'Ivoire and bring the AFCON trophy once again to Nigeria, maybe after 6 years.
Yes, I mean,
Yes, after 6 years.
It's 6 years,
Last time was
2013.
2013, that's not 6 years. Oh,
This makes it
that's
10
almost
years.
after 10 years.
10
Yes,
years.
that's after 10 years. And the first time we won, it took us almost, the last one was
We won it in 1980, then 94.
won in 94, and
Yeah,
it
then
take us almost 19 years to
Exactly.
get it back. But the minister said no, we must not wait for that long time again. We must within the 10 years, within the another decade.
I mean, because looking at Nigeria,
Not like the yes, I like the courage of the honorable minister. Unlike the Nigeria Football Federation, that are all just asking Pesero and his boys to just use it semi-final. So the honorable minister, no, we have to win it and bring it to the trophy. To me, I agree with him completely.
and considering Nigeria's pedigree in African football, you expect that, not sounding overconfident, but maybe we shouldn't be going 5 years without winning the AFCON.
Yes,
Egypt won it how many times?
Egypt won it back-to-back consecutive
Exactly.
3 times.
Yeah.
They won it in 2000. They won it in 2000. They won it at home. 2006.
Yeah.
They won it in Ghana. In Ghana 2008, and then in Angola in 2010. Won it back. In 2012, they almost won it in before they were eliminated by Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, I mean, so you're completely correct.
So if like we shouldn't need to wait for almost 10 years.
10 years, yes, to win the AFCON.
Because if you even look now, if you look at our record in terms of African titles, Egypt has 7 titles, Cameroon has 5 titles, Ghana has 4 times. Even in Ghana, the last time Ghana won it's more than almost 2 decades now, more than 30 years.
Over 40 years now, if I'm not mistaken.
Ghana last won it. But however, they have the better record than you, and we should be in the class. We should be where the both of the title, the way Egypt has had it, the title like 7 times. We shouldn't be just between. Sometimes where some Nigerian reporters say 3-time African champion with a boast. What is so important about 3-time African champion?
All right, to some other stories now, where Sports Minister Senator John Eno has advocated for more representation of women at the top level of football administration in Nigeria. He made the case at the 2023 Annual General Assembly of the NFF in Uyo. He urged those at the helm of football administration to manage it with utmost professionalism and sense of patriotism for the good of the game in the country. He said, "I'm passionately making a case on behalf of Nigerian football for increased representation of women in our football administration." The senior women's national team ranked amongst the top 10 countries in the last FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. This is a testament of how far our women football has come. It gives credence to the need for more representation of women in annual general meetings of this nature for wider inclusion and diversity. Well, nice to say, but when you look at it, sometimes when people keep calling for we need more women in this, sometimes is it that the field is you know a level playing field, or just that? But we all know that generally, except maybe in recent time, when it comes to football matters, not too many women, especially in administration. Of course, there are some women here and there, but you wouldn't, even all over the world, even in advanced countries, you don't see too many women in top decision-making positions in football administration.
Yeah, you are correct. It's not even just the main thing. If you look at even at the FIFA Congress, and that's why some of us, even as much as we don't even like some attitudes of the man at FIFA level. Fantino, we don't like it, Fantino. But the fact that he was able to appoint the general secretary as a woman from Africa, having a woman, I think this is the first time to achieve that. But if I'm not wrong, and if you look at almost of the federation presidents across the group, they're all most legally men. Between Africa, I think it's only Liberia that have Liberia or Sierra. I can't remember the other Liberia or Sierra have female as the president of football. And if you come to our own level here, before now we only have a woman chairman in Benue State. Every other person within the state are all state chairmen, are all men. And if you looking at the current NFL board, before the current board led by under Pinnick, we only have in the second tenor, we only have in first tenor we don't have any single. In first tenor we have the Leo Yedima as a member of the board, not on the place that he is there as the chairperson of the Women League. The same thing under is Pinnick second tenor. We have Aisha Falode as the only female on the board by his position as the chairperson of the Women League, not by saying he was voted by election. It is only the current board, the current board headed by Gusu, that we have 2 elected female board members on the board. In the person of the former speaker of Benue State House of Assembly, I'm trying to recall his name. Margaret from the former speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly, who was the former AFC chairman of Benue State, currently on the board member of NFF representing North Central. And at the same time, we also have Aisha Falode who transit from being a representative of a women league, now a full elected board member from the southwest.
Yeah.
So to me, that is if you look at it based on where we are coming from, that is an improvement.
Yeah, sure.
Even under Megiri, under Lulu, I cannot remember. We don't have any women, any women on the board. Okay, we have the Ayomidiro on the board. So to me, that is an improvement. And currently, if you look at the NFL board member at the moment, we have two by election, board member by election, and the other man, Nkishi, and as a chairperson of the women, that means 3 people on the board. And if the angle of the honorable minister is that, because if you come to the NFL Congress, it always be just a pocket of women here and there. You see, it's all women affair. And if you look at our comment, you agree with her. Yes, women football has made unprecedented progress, and we need to have more women in the competition. And at the same time, issues that concern women can be better addressed by women, because there are some issues that are peculiar to women. And if we are growing in the women football, we also need to have women. We need to have more space for women in the administration of women, so that can handle the women affair as it matters. And if you look at the revenue generation for the last Women World Cup, in terms of viewership, in terms of everything, you see that women football is coming at least almost at par with the women. If not at par, you can simply say 60%, 40% at the moment.
Completely, I agree. And I mean, that call is a timely one. Anyway, we go on a quick break, and when we come back, Sport Orbit continues. Don't go nowhere. Right. We are back. We'll still go on a break, but for now, let's continue. Of course, to some NPFL news now, where former Super Eagles midfielder Mutiu Adepoju has said that starting the Nigerian Premier Football League's season date will lead to rushing of the fixtures, as he called for whatever the reason for the delay rather to be sorted out quickly. At first, the commencement of the NPFL season was slated for August 26. However, it was deferred as the league's governing body opted to install and conduct a trial run of AI cameras for broadcasting league fixtures. However, despite the anticipated start NPFL season just 3 days away, the NPFL officially announced on September 6th that its commencement will be delayed once again, and there is no indication as to when a new launch date will be declared. Well, previously they had told us that the postponement was due to the AGM. AGM was held yesterday, so you expect that even at that AGM, a new date would have been announced. Part of the communique, but we are yet to hear. And I had raised this concern several times. I said, look, don't be surprised that the league might not even start again in September, the way it is. And we keep talking about harmonizing the league with that of Europe. European leagues, most of them are into match week 4. This weekend, the EPL will be into match week 5. The likes of La Liga or Bundesliga rather will be in match week 4. So when do we start our league? And I'm sure maybe by the time we eventually get our acts together and start, it might still be an abridged version. They will tell you the same story again, that we are making it abridged version so that we can be able to meet up with the league so that we start. And next season again, we go through the same circle once again.
Yeah, it is the same fear we have experienced here severally. It's the same fear that the former international Adepoju, which you also know, it's also seen. And as somebody, they say who where they should know where to pitch it. And as somebody who are playing at the high level football, know what the effect of mass congestion passing the fixtures for the player. And particularly in our own country, when we don't have a stable network, network movement, to move from one point A to another point B is always terrible. It's a very tedious journey to make a movement from one state to another state. And when you are not, and this when the situation when you have you now state the league late, you are compelled to force a club to play 2 matches per week. And if we are asking in a Nigerian situation with all our energy quinces, asking a club to move from one state to another state to play 2 matches in a week. For example, you play on Saturday, you are expected to play on Saturday to play on Tuesday, and then play in another Saturday. That means if you play in Makurdi this week, you have a match in Kaduna. Kaduna is even a close over between Makurdi and Kaduna. You have a match in Kaduna. You have to move to Kaduna to play the next match, and then move back to your state again to Kaduna. And you now compare a club who play in the south, for instance, Riba United, who play this weekend in Riba. You play you play on last Sunday, yesterday Sunday in Port Harcourt, and you have your next match is against Kano Pillar. You have to travel all the way from Riba to come to Kano.
Exactly.
You know the distance between Kano and River, and you know the terrain, how the movement from Kano, from Port Harcourt to Kano, how difficult it is, how many hours it takes you on the road to come and play on Saturday, to come and play midweek match, and then travel back again. So and the only way we can save ourselves in all this is to have the league start, so that the club can be okay. We can manage the club playing every weekend, so that the player can be comfortably and managed. But in a situation when you refuse to start when you are supposed to start, you have all this. The league, the last season ended in August. So the last ended in May.
In May, rather.
From May, you have June, all June throughout. You have July, all July throughout. We have now in August again. You have all this time to prepare. And even in advanced country, in EPL for instance, which we use as a break, or we use as a model. Even as the current league is going on, they are already thinking of what is going to happen next season. And that is why the EPL will tell you immediately after the end of the season, the Champions League match, all the other competition match, the league, the draw for the next season is sent out. Something planning. So, but we will after we finish it, we will take the whole time, another month to celebrate. Say, we have ended the season well, to celebrate all exactly. Forgetting that we have another work on our hand. So I think we need to begin to do things differently on how it should be done based on the international standard, what is sustainable in the whole world. Not just doing in our own style and it's not giving us any support.
All right, to some tennis news now, where yesterday Novak Djokovic just made it 24 Grand Slam in his career after defeating Russian Daniil Medvedev 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 to win the US Open. That brings him at par with Margaret Court, who so far is the only person, either male or female, to have won 24 Grand Slam. Djokovic's victory, his fourth in 10 Flushing Meadows finals, capped another remarkable season after his wins at the Australian Open and Roland Garros. A big congratulations to Djokovic. I mean, at a point when Roger Federer had made it 20 Grand Slams, at that point I think Nadal had about 16, Djokovic then had about maybe 14 or 13. Nobody ever saw it. In fact, when Nadal was at 20, Federer was at 20, I never saw anybody even catching up with Federer. But here, Djokovic caught up. Initially, Nadal caught up, made it 22. Now Djokovic has gone a step further. I'm sure if he had played at the Australian Open last year and the US Open, maybe we would have been talking of 26 Grand Slam by now. Because he missed Australian Open last year due to COVID, also missed the US Open, but bounced back this season to win both the US Open, the Australian Open, apart from the Wimbledon, which he lost to Alcaraz.
Yeah, Alpha, you're right. Just like when we begin, when we being the head of the Federer, it's like nobody is going to be there to catch up Federer. Nadal came in, Nadal put up a good performance, and then surpassing his record. Not down to injuries. He has not retired officially, but it's almost retired. Even Federer, he was forcibly retired because of injuries. But Djokovic has taken a game further.
Exactly.
So Djokovic is the target now. Everybody seem to be looking at Nadal. Yes, not disrespecting to all they are in the game. Nadal and Federer. Djokovic is now the target of everybody. And just like he have set a new record. They have set in terms of men. As the only men, only the men who have the sport vaccine, and equally Margaret.
Serena tried to do it severally at 23. She did it, but that 24 was elusive, and she just had to call it quits.
It was elusive for her. And on 2 occasions, play how many finals? Still, he couldn't get it. And this Djokovic will still have opportunities to win at least not less than another. Next year, out of the 4 Grand Slams,
might win another 2.
Djokovic may likely win, if not winning one, may likely win another race. So obviously, the record is not it's not yet
At all.
it's not yet done setting up the record. So we all I was even expecting the Accra to win this US Open, but unfortunately he was
lost in the semi-final.
lost in the final to
Medvedev, yeah.
So Medvedev. So congratulations to Djokovic. The Serbia tennis has become an icon.
Exactly. Indeed. All right, to some other news that, of course, has been making the rounds, that's involving embattled president of the Spanish FA, Luis Rubiales, has finally stepped down after weeks of sustained pressure after they won at the Women's World Cup. Recall that initially he was suspended, first of all, by FIFA after he refused, he was not going to step down. But after so much pressure, he has finally stepped down from that position. But of course, he has still maintained his innocence. He said it clearly that, look, some people in the federation are against me for whatever reason, but for peace to reign, I call it peace. But he has still maintained that he has done nothing wrong. But of course, a serious pressure has mounted on him, and finally he has thrown in the towel.
I don't understand what you mean by it's innocent that he didn't kiss the girl.
No, that's not the issue. I mean,
any interior motive? What
they are trying to accuse him of is assault, sexual assault, and he's saying that wasn't the intention, and he has said it repeatedly, and some of us agreed that positions repeatedly. Like, look, it was the excitement of the moment. Some of these things happen in sports, and which I totally agree. But like he said, it looks like there are some persons maybe in football circles in Spain who want him out for whatever reasons, because they are making it, almost like a criminal issue. Because this was something that happened publicly. It's not as if the corner the jail somewhere. Exactly, it was public. So it's something that you could see clearly that it was the spur of the moment. It was excitement. Following the crisis, because of the crisis that followed the team to the World Cup, nobody expected anything from the Spanish team. So that achievement was quite a huge achievement from them, and of course, rightfully so, deserved every wanted to celebrate it. But sometimes these things happen. But finally, he has stepped down.
Yeah, finally he has stepped down to me, and it's good that he has stepped down, but it's obviously that he can no longer continue.
Exactly.
There's no how he will stay on the job and still want to do it. Obviously he can't continue. He has no option than to step down. And then talking about either he's innocent or he's not innocent or this and this. Yeah, just like say either he have an interior motive or he don't have an interior motive. But either he have an interior motive, what was happening was in an open field. Everybody see the video, and sometimes emotion can push you to any length. Some people need to also learn from this. That when sometimes when emotion pushes you, you have to hold some breaks in order to commit something that will be the end of your.
You remember in the case of even Oshoala, where it became an issue after taking her shirt off to celebrate. So sometimes in sports, it's like a rush of blood. You don't even know what you're doing sometimes.
Yeah, Ushola can take off to me, that one is not an issue. But although some people started meaning that it's not an issue because of our faith as a Muslim. Because of our faith as a Muslim, she shouldn't have behaved that way she behaved. If not, that one is a non-issue. But because people is going to be a female player, and because of our faith as a Muslim, she shouldn't have exposed herself in the public and let people see her in the public like that. But for Rubial, for the Spanish man, he has to go. And another thing that make this thing more controversial is that a video on the Instagram in the dressing room after the surprise, after what happened on the field, people were also seen on the Instagram video that when he still lays her hand on the shoulders of the player, meaning that either he has something interrupt within the players or not. And some people they also say that okay, I'm going to take you for I'm going to take you winning for this. We're going to take you out in. I'm going to take in me and for the wedding for me and James. So that's where people start okay, maybe she's sexually harassing the girl, and the girl say he don't want.
Right, to another almost similar issue, this time involving Man United and Tony. Of course, his ex-girlfriend had come out to accuse him of domestic violence, but of course he gave an interview in Brazil, I think on Saturday or so, and denied. And like he said clearly that look, there are evidence, there are series of text messages between him and the girl. He never did it and all of that. So for United, in order not to draw some negative press to them, just asking, well, just hold on for a while investigations are ongoing. You're still our player. We will support you in our best possible way. I mean, the good thing is United has been said while he's not on suspension, he's just been asked to stay away and he continue to receive his full pay while he's away from the team. But of course, investigation is still ongoing in Brazil and as well as the UK.
Yeah, that is a good one from mine. Yeah. Unlike the way it happened to Greenwood. The Greenwood, they stand on the agree or different from the way they are taking this one. If your player is having an issue, you need to stand with the player until he's proved guilty. For now, and even sometimes we have seen and sometimes players need to also be careful because this issue has become often and often. When former players and friends are trying to pull the player down by all means. For me, I'm not in as much I'm not speaking for this player, but I'm seeing that most of these allegations are just unnecessary. Because those ex-players are trying by all means to just get at this player because they felt, I supposed to be there with him, or supposed to be this, but they have something. So they want every means just to get at the player. And because in the outside world, if you accuse of somebody that I was sexually abused without a proof, without a video anything to show that how you were forcibly forced into sin. People started to say, for her to come out to say, I was forcibly abused. These are some of the things I don't agree when you come to men and women's relation. When a girl just come outside and say, at the time, this social person was forcefully sexually abused. And with that, so I think the court and the society needs to go further. If you accuse somebody that you were sexually abused, you need to come with all proof, with the evidence of proof how you were forcefully abused into sex. Not just because you want to bring somebody down and by mere allegation and now see what he has done to the player. He don't play for his national team.
Yeah, sure.
Now he
has to
play for his national team. He has to be excluded from the club. Now this is the new season. He is supposed to be integral part of the club. By the time Man U now play for match like him now, definitely another player will come in. It will take a grace of God for him to reclaim his setback on it. He has to put extra mile for him to ask who has done well in the absence to commit the goal to drop the person on the bench.
All right, that's all we can give you on today's edition of the program. Tomorrow we'll be back with another exciting edition. Do join us once again 4 p.m. It is Salifu. Thank you for being in studio.